The origins and nature of money, a critical reassessment of the orthodox account. 1. The traditional barter narrative and its limitations. Conventional pedagogy presents the evolution of money as a linear transition from barter to metallic currency. This narrative imagines early individuals, such as Crusoe and Friday, exchanging grain for fish, eventually discovering gold as an efficient medium of exchange. Gold, with its durability and portability, became dominant. However, the security risk of storing gold led to its safekeeping with goldsmiths, who issued paper receipts. These receipts, redeemable for gold, became a primitive form of currency and laid the foundation for modern banking through fractional reserve issuance. Footnote: this section outlines the orthodox origin story of money from barter to gold-backed banking, while previewing its theoretical fragility. 2. Critique of the barter myth and the absence of historical evidence. Despite its popularity, there exists no historical evidence of barter-based economies. Anthropological and historical records, including the earliest written documents, reveal that money predated markets and was integral to early accounting systems. Writing itself emerged not for poetry, but for economic record-keeping. Additionally, the barter narrative fails to explain how societies transitioned from a multi-commodity world to a single, dominant currency. Even early Austrian economists have abandoned the strict barter model in favor of computational alternatives. Footnote: this section challenges the historical validity of the barter-to-money model, emphasizing that money predates market economies and writing. 3. The role of authority and the origins of monetary units. Historically, the issuance and control of money have always been tied to political authority. Evidence shows that monetary systems developed not from decentralized trade, but from centralized institutions imposing units of account. Early monetary units such as the shekel and pound were derived from weight standards used in grain measurement. This standardization enabled comparative valuation of goods. The religious and governmental temples often regulated these units, establishing public pricing systems that undergirded ancient economies. Footnote: this section explores the origin of money as a product of state and religious authority, emphasizing standardization and public pricing systems. 4. From blood debts to monetary values, the Wergild hypothesis. Anthropological studies suggest that money emerged not from trade, but from systems of social restitution such as the Germanic Wergild, where compensation was paid for physical harm or death. This practice required consistent valuation of various goods like cows or chickens, eventually giving rise to abstract units of account. This leap from qualitative goods to quantitative comparison represents a foundational development in the history of money, enabling broader economic systems. Footnote: this section introduces the hypothesis that money evolved from social debt systems, such as tribal compensatory practices, rather than from market exchange. 5. The hierarchy of money and the technological layer. Modern monetary systems reflect a hierarchy of IOUs, all denominated in a sovereign unit of account. These IOUs can take different technological forms: coins, paper, or digital entries. What unifies them is not intrinsic value, but legal recognition and state backing. The essential power behind currency is not its substance but the issuing authority's legal and fiscal ability to impose liabilities and accept payments. Thus, the medium, whether coin or code, is secondary to the issuer's sovereignty. Footnote: this section explains that modern money is hierarchical, technologically adaptable, and ultimately backed by sovereign authority. 6. One nation, one currency, the rule of sovereign identity. Throughout history, states have maintained unique currencies as a marker of sovereignty and political autonomy. The post-Soviet fragmentation, where each new nation adopted its own currency, illustrates this principle. The lone significant deviation, the Eurozone, has faced systemic crises, underscoring the fragility of shared monetary systems without unified fiscal policy. This pattern confirms the close relationship between political independence and monetary authority. Footnote: this section highlights how the adoption of national currencies serves as a symbol and instrument of sovereignty, with rare exceptions. 7. Taxation as the driver of currency value. Contrary to commodity-based theories of value, modern currencies derive their acceptance from the state's power to impose and collect taxes. The demand for currency is functionally sustained by the necessity to extinguish public obligations. Thus, taxes do not merely fund spending, they create ongoing demand for the currency itself. This framework reorients monetary theory from scarcity-based models to obligation-based systems rooted in law. Footnote: this section concludes by asserting that taxes, not intrinsic value, provide the foundation for the legitimacy and value of sovereign currency,